What's going on, guys? It's Luke here. Going to run through this weekly outlook. Today is Saturday, June 7th. So I'm going to upload this tomorrow on Sunday the 8th. We're going to be looking at the week from June 9th to the 13th. So basically going to talk over the draws on liquidity, the buy side draws, the sell side draws, and kind of just see some potential ideas, potential areas where price can draw to. Again, not trying to predict exactly what the market's going to do, just kind of some ideas and where just some areas to mark off on your chart and to just be aware of. And then we're going to get into the news after that. So let's start at NQ. As we know, NQ has been our leading bullish index, and NQ has just been pushing much further ahead than ES, right? So this is what we marked out on the monthly. So start on the monthly. As you can see, we ran through this bearish fair value gap right here and we invalidated it, and we haven't came down and retested it yet. So I marked out this monthly IFVG right here because this could be a potential area where price can eventually want to bounce off to, not just necessarily this week, but just in general, just an area to keep an eye on. Okay, but our monthly is in bullish order flow now. We look at the weekly. The weekly's in completely bullish order flow. We had a strong weekly candle right here and a nice bullish close. In terms of weekly draws, I marked out this weekly FVG right here, this bullish fair value gap. We also have this weekly low right here, but it leads into the weekly fair value gap. I didn't want to clutter the chart too much. As you can see, we're also still technically within this weekly FVG right here, but we already had a reaction out of it and we already made a move down and then we continued back up. So I'm kind of just disregarding that one. But as you can see, the bottom line is that the weekly is in bullish order flow. Now we go to the daily. The daily's trending up nicely. We obviously marked out over here this daily high. We have this daily low. We have this daily low. And then above, we just have this daily FVG. And then we have the weekly highs, and then we have the all-time highs over here. So main gist of this is that everything's pretty much in bullish order flow. We're trending to the upside, and NQ is basically our leading bullish index. Let's go over to ES really briefly, talk about that, and then we're going to jump back and kind of talk about plans and stuff like that. So the difference with ES here, ES ran through this monthly bearish fair value gap, but it actually closed above and then retested it. So we actually already got a retest of that monthly FVG or IFVG because ES is lagging behind in terms of bullish price action. So it came back in, tapped into that monthly IFVG, and it continued up. But moral of the story is that ES is in bullish order flow. We look at the weekly, the same thing, strong weekly bullish candle. We invalidated this weekly FVG before. And in terms of weekly draws and liquidity, we have this weekly low down here. We also have this small week opening gap from a couple weeks ago. And then we have this weekly FVG up here, which is actually the FVG that NQ is reacting off of right now. So as you can see, like I said, ES is lagging behind NQ. So NQ is already tapped into this FVG. So potentially you can expect ES to kind of want to catch up, right? We go to the daily, same kind of scenario as NQ, right? Daily's in bullish order flow. We have this weekly low. Again, we have this week opening gap over here. We have this daily low, and if you see over here, NQ or ES actually swept above this recent daily high. So I'm not really paying attention to this, obviously, just because it's lower time frame, as you can see, but just something maybe to keep an eye on, where we might have a short-term S&T, but I'm not really going to be looking at that right now because it's not really relevant, because market can open and, you know, they both just run past the high. So I'm not really paying attention to that. Buy side, we have this weekly high, or this weekly FVG up here, and then we have this daily FVG up here, and then we have all of this liquidity up here, the all-time highs, those weekly highs, and all that stuff. So again, moral of the story here is that ES is in bullish order flow, NQ is in bullish order flow. Let's swap back to NQ, kind of just talk about a plan, potential scenarios, and what to watch out for. So again, monthly's in bullish order flow, weekly's in bullish order flow, daily's in bullish order flow. So one scenario here is we could see price just continue to run up. We could literally just see a run to all-time highs, just a continued, trend to the upside, run to those all-time highs, and then or take these out, whatever, and then come down and then sell off to some degree later on. But we could just make that continued push to all-time highs because we're pushing super close, right? Another thing that can happen, we can have a small run up, maybe fill in this FVG right here, sweep these daily highs, and then we get a minor sell off, right? We have, if you look here, we have low resistance, liquidity, failure swing right here. So another potential scenario is we could have a run up and a sell off to potentially take out this low resistance sell side liquidity, all these daily lows, this weekly low, fill in this weekly FVG, fill in this monthly IFVG, and then we get a bounce from there, right? So that's another possible scenario. If bullish price action wants to continue, we can just see a continuation up to continue to take out more buy side and take out these draws, higher time frame draws and the all-time highs. If price action wants to flip bearish, trend wants to flip bearish, maybe we get a small sweep to build up some liquidity, and then we have a run to the downside. We'd be seeking out these daily lows, and most importantly, that weekly FVG and that monthly inverse. And then potentially that would be the area where price would want to bounce off of, right? Now we look at ES, it's pretty much the same thing. If price is going to continue up and bullish order flow is going to continue, we're going to be seeking out this weekly FVG, this daily FVG, and then all the way up here to these all-time highs and these weekly highs up here, or we could seek higher, tap into this weekly FVG, and then we can get a sell-off, take out this daily low, the weekly low, fill this week opening gap, and then get a bounce from there, right? So price can literally go, of course, it can go either way. Order flow is bullish. I'm leaning towards another bullish week. And the main thing here is to take away is just to have an eye on those different buy side and sell side draws on liquidity. So starting on ES, like I said, we have this weekly bearish fair value gap right here. As you can see right here, we have this daily fair value gap right here. And then we have, of course, the weekly high, and then we have the all-time highs. In terms of sell side, we have daily low, weekly low, and then this week opening gap all the way down here. NQ, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just a little bit more ahead, right? So in terms of buy side, we have this daily high, this daily FVG. We have the week high and the all-time high. And then in terms of sell side, we have this daily low, and then we have this weekly FVG and this monthly IFVG, right? So if we want to see price action continue bullish, we're most likely just going to get a continued run, to all-time highs. If we want to grab some buy side and then have a sell-off, areas to be looking for sell side targets would be the daily lows, and most likely run through all of this, take out that weekly FVG and that monthly inverse, and then continue up from there. Same thing on ES, right? Stacked up sell side liquidity. We could easily see price run through this before it runs higher. But it's all going to depend on momentum. It's going to depend on news. We have CPI this week. So, yeah, just make sure you have those areas marked down in your charts and pay close attention to how price reacts when it approaches or gets near those areas. But it's all going to depend on lower time frame order flow, news, and all that stuff. But just some areas to obviously keep your eye on. So let's get into the news now. I just briefly looked at news. So on Monday, we have a no news Monday. So most likely not going to be really doing much on Monday. Tuesday, we don't have anything as well, which would be fine, but we also have CPI on Wednesday. That's the problem. So usually the day before CPI, a little bit iffy, but we'll see. We're going to have to play it by ear and see what happens there. But big news event on CPI. Do not trade CPI unless you know what you're doing, but wouldn't recommend trading that. Stay away. Thursday, we have PPI. I'll be good to trade after PPI and unemployment claims. So that's at 8:30. So I'll be good to trade Thursday. And then Friday, we have 10 a.m. news. We have consumer sentiment over here, inflation expectations at 10. So I'll be trading after that. So not the greatest week with the news. Like compared to last week, we had red folders, but everything was like pretty much you're good to trade. NFP week too. I don't know, it was a little bit iffy, but we got to do the best we can, right? We just got to avoid CPI, just be smart trading around that. And then other than that, Thursday should be good and Friday should be good depending on how price action looks after the news. I'd be cautious on the no news Monday and the day before CPI, and obviously, extra cautious on CPI. But that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back with some trade recaps this week and see how the trading week goes, coming off a profitable week. So super excited to get back into the charts, but that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until the next video, give me a like, subscribe, comment on the video, follow me on Twitter. Link in the description if you guys want to support the channel. Until the next video, I'll see you guys then. Peace.